Hi, it's Bob the Hippie Gardener, and what we're going to talk about today is succession cropping in a raised bed garden. This is a raised bed garden, and I started some of this stuff back in February. Some of this stuff was actually started in December. But what I've got here is a row that I've started some carrots and radishes in a couple months ago, and even when it was way too cold, but the time came and the ground got warm in these raised beds, up came the carrots, and we just harvested the radishes in another video. Also, at the same time, I planted some spinach, and we just harvested a little bit today that we'll be able to eat for supper tonight. So what I want to do then is I want to plant more carrots, because these corral carrots that I planted here take 75 days. So they're probably at least 30 days into that, maybe, from the time the seedlings actually emerge. So in about 45 days or so, these will be ready to pull out of the ground. Of course, we'll pull some smaller ones out before that even, probably. So in the meantime, I want a succession crop so that I have some more carrots later once we finish eating those, because we'll eat those up pretty quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that this spinach is going to crop probably for another 30 days, and then it's going to get a lot of spinach in the next 30 days, and then spinach is going to get too hot and we'll have to pull that spinach out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant some carrots just 6 inches apart from the last row, right next to this. And this is the easy way and fast way to plant carrots, so that's what we're going to try to do today for this succession cropping. So all I'm going to do is just loosen the soil ever so slightly right along the row so I don't mess up the spinach here. Just like that. That's all I'm doing. I'm just going to do that. Just like that. Just to get the soil loosened up a little bit. I'm going to plant. Now with these onions, same deal. They're going to be done before, in the next 80 days or so. But in the meantime, I can grow some carrots right next to them and it won't hurt a darn thing. And so I'm going to try to get 4 rows in. This lettuce right here will be gone in another couple weeks as we eat it, because it's ready to harvest now. We've already harvested one today. So I'm going to start another row of carrots right next to it too. And if you notice, I'm already succession cropping in this bed. I'll show you in a second here. And that's going to be our 4th row of carrots. So I'm already succession cropping in this bed because knowing that I was going to have this lettuce coming out pretty soon, I've already planted some mother onions here that are just starting to come up. So these will be coming up. So I have some onions here, I have some carrots here, I have some more onions here, and then I have some cilantro growing here, and then intercropped here with my lettuce, I also have more of these mother onions along the edge, and then broccoli growing in between. So as I harvest this lettuce, the broccoli will be taking over. So that's what I've got going on here. So continue this succession kind of cropping. That's what we're doing today. So what we're going to do is, and I always like to put some radishes in with my carrots because it helps mark the rows, as we saw in the video we did earlier today, actually. So what I'm going to do is just go along here, make a little impression with this tool, and then I know I have a straight line. Just like that. Yeah. So, I like to start with the radishes first, because then I have my rows marked. And most of these will come up, so you want to plant sparingly with radishes. They are to mark the rows, and they'll help the carrots push up if there's any trouble for the carrots getting through the soil, which there shouldn't be in this soil, but in your soil it might be, so they can be helpful with that. And I'll get those other ones over there in a second. Get the rest of this here. And so then there'll be some radishes that'll come up very quickly because the carrots take a little bit longer, and I'll have rows to let me know where my carrots are going to be coming up when those come up. So got the radishes down. Now, I'm going to plant some different varieties of carrots here. One is a very common variety called tender sweet carrots. And these seeds are a couple years old, so I'm going to plant them thin, thickly, a little bit here and there, but not real thick. It'll require some thinning maybe later, which thankfully in a raised bed like this is not that much of a task. It's pretty easy to do. You don't have to bend all the way over to the ground to do it. And so that's a couple rows of tender sweet carrots. Then we're going to try some Yellowstone Imperator carrots. These are big yellow carrots. And those are from Territorial Seeds. We get seeds from a lot of different places. We start getting seed catalogs sometime right after Thanksgiving usually from all these companies. And I order most of my seeds online, so anymore I don't even really look at those catalogs that much, although they're nice when they got some new pictures in there. And then for a little variation, we got some regular tender sweet orange carrots. We've got some Yellowstone Imperators. And then just for a little bit more color variation, let's try something called Red Sun, where they're red carrots. And I told you I was going to do this the easiest way. So what would be the easiest way now? Well, you could just kind of lump that dirt back over. Carrots do not need to be planted very deeply, so you don't need much to put over them. But what I'm going to do is something even easier. I'm just going to take some potting soil and just go right down my little groove that I made there, like that. This way I'm not really disturbing much at all. That'll actually be enough covering for those plants to sprout. Because they don't need much. And the thing about this is this potting soil is very loose and sink their roots down into the bed, no problem. And really at this point, this is all you really need to do. Water, well, you need to mark your rows so you know what you planted, or else you won't be able to tell later possibly. So you would mark your rows and then you would water this in. So that's the next 2 steps you would be. So that's exactly how you do it. You get your succession planting of carrots. These will be up in a few days. Will that be all the carrots I plant? No. In another 3 weeks, I'll plant more carrots because I like to have carrots all season long because I like carrots. Happy gardening, everyone. Be sure to like and subscribe.